What's going on, guys? This is Jigsaw here. Today, I'm going to be giving you guys my part 2 of how to get better at Call of Duty Ghosts series. If you haven't seen part 1, go ahead and check out my channel and you can see it there. Also, be sure to subscribe while you're over there. Anyway, today's video is going to be about in-game awareness and what you can do to make yourself a better player with the tools and options that the game provides to everyone. Now, the gameplay you're watching here is me playing clan vs clan, and I'm utilizing the skills that I'm going to talk about today to not only get kills, but also get objective scores, so I can come out on top, get the win, and do well. Clan vs clan is great practice. So the first thing we're going to be looking at are your in-game custom classes. Now, I can't really go into details about what weapons you should use with what attachments, because that would take forever, because there's so many different combinations and customizations that apply to different playstyles. If you want to know what I use, check out my custom class setup videos on my channel. You'll really enjoy what you see there. The same goes for perks. There's a lot of combinations that pertain to different playstyles, so I can't say too much about perks, but I will say that there are 2 mandatory perks that you should always be using when you're playing Call of Duty Ghosts. Those perks are Dead Silence and Focus. When you don't have Dead Silence on, your footsteps are very loud, so anyone who can really hear footsteps in the game, which is really everyone, can hear you coming, so they'll know you're coming before you even see them. This puts you at an obvious disadvantage. The next is Focus. When you get in gunfights, which happens all the time in Call of Duty, of course, if you don't have Focus on, as soon as you get shot, your guy will flinch and your recoil will shoot towards the sky. You can't have this happen, so you need to run Focus so you don't have any flinch when shot, and you have the ability to actually win the gunfight. I've said things about these perks in my previous videos, and I'm saying again here, you need to have Dead Silence and Focus. So now we're going to talk about things that you do actually in-game. The first is your use of your radar or mini-map. Now, a lot of people obviously know that the radar's there, but they don't really use it to the fullest ability that you're able to. You need to acknowledge where your teammates are on the map and use that to determine where your enemies are. Most likely, unless you hear or see a gunfight going on between an enemy and a friendly, you can pretty much assume that an enemy is going to be in the area of the map where your teammates are not. Also, when you know which side of the map your enemy is spawning on, and you know where your teammates are in that spawn, you'll be able to exactly determine where the enemy is spawning, or the general location, as opposed to one whole side of the map. So, in turn, doing this, as long as you use your radar correctly and know where your friendlies are, you can actually generate spawn control, and you can control the spawns in your game by strategically placing friendlies and yourself in the enemy's spawn. What this does is makes it so you know where they're spawning, so you can not only control the game, but you work it in your favor. This is sort of hard to do alone, so if you can do it with a team, you're better off that way for sure. The next is communication. If you're not communicating in the game, you're not getting the full experience out of it. You need to communicate and let your teammates know where you are, when and where you got a kill, or vice versa, when and where you got killed yourself. You should be using callouts. Callouts are pretty much just a label for different locations on the map. A lot of places on the map have general community-wide known callouts or names for the location, and even sometimes your in-game soldier makes callouts for you. You know, when you hear someone say, "Oh, I saw one in the Porter Brewery," like, that's the Porter Brewery on Freight. So, those are the callouts that you need to get aware of, and you need to learn them so you can communicate with your team to come out on top. Another great way to get better at the game is to watch film. I know that sounds kind of weird, and something like you would only do for like a real life sport, but esports is growing, and watching film for Call of Duty is tremendously helpful. You can check out great stuff on my channel here. You'll definitely learn a thing or two. But even something that I do, and I would recommend to you as well, is to watch pro players. The pro players are the best in the game, obviously, because they play it professionally. So if you watch them, you will definitely pick up a thing or two, and you'll learn a lot about the game and a lot about how it works. You'll learn what you should do in certain situations and how to respond to circumstances that you might not really be familiar with. Watching pro players is definitely going to help you out. In all honesty, though, the #1 thing that you can do to get better is practice. You know, you need to think about what I've just told you and also in the previous video, and you needed to practice these abilities and skills. When you're playing, focus on these tips. You know, in game, make sure you're looking at your radar, saying, alright, I'm looking at the radar, the enemy's over here, my friendlies are here, so we know that they're spawning here. You know, things like that. After every game, you need to ask yourself, was I doing what I was supposed to? Was I communicating? Was I using my radar? Was I using the right perks? Ask yourself these questions. If you were not, go back and fix it the next game. Put a real emphasis on it. If you were, keep doing it. And eventually, if you keep doing it, you'll master the skills and you won't have to think about them anymore. And that is when you will have officially gotten better, when they don't have to be thought about, but they just come naturally. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more awesome videos just like this one. This is Jigsaw, signing out.